Hi, welcome back to Chromaccounting. I'm Mark Bracken-Wilson. In this video, I want to cover how business owners can use the Chromaccounting system to help them to understand their financial statements better and to allow them to have deeper conversations with their accountants. We have a balance sheet here for Demo Company Limited as at 31st March 2025. And you can see there's lots of numbers, lots of headings, lots of general ledger accounts, but it's hard to decipher what accounts belong to where. So we can use the Chromaccounting system to break the balance sheet down into smaller groups, which are easier to understand and easier to analyse. So we'll start out with the assets here. We take the asset heading down to total assets. We take our orange highlighter as discussed in the previous video, and we'll highlight all of our assets orange. Then we look at our liabilities, take the liabilities heading all the way down to total liabilities, get our red highlighter out. We can highlight all of our liabilities in red. Now we've got the net assets down the bottom, which is our assets minus our liabilities. So we know that orange minus red is yellow. So our net assets are yellow. Our assets minus liabilities equals owner's equity, and owner's equity must be yellow. And you can see that our balance sheet balances, we've got $29,000 of total owner's equity, and we have $29,000 of net assets, which is assets minus liabilities. So our balance sheet balances. Next, we can take the profit and loss account for the year ended 31st of March 2025. You can see we've got some trading income at the top there, which is sales in this case of $41,000. We highlight that all green for revenue. Then we have some expenses here. We've got some purchases, and down below the gross profit we've got some operating expenses. And we know that expenses are blue, so we take our blue highlighter and we'll highlight all of those expenses in blue. From the previous video, we learnt that revenue less expenses is profit, and green minus blue is yellow. So our net profit is yellow, and it belongs to the owner. So we used Chromaccounting to break down our profit and loss statement and our balance sheet into colours, which hopefully make it easier for you to understand the accounts and to analyse them and talk to your accountant about them. We can also use the Chromaccounting system to analyse the financial statements for any company. In this case, I'll use Air New Zealand and the financial statements that are presented in their annual report for 2024. So we've got a few financial performance highlights there, $6.8 billion of revenue, $120 million of dividends, and a few other performance highlights as well. So we'll start with the statement of financial performance. This is also known as the income statement or the profit and loss statement. At the very top there, we can see that we've got some operating revenue. So we're going to highlight all of the revenue streams in green. We've got some passenger revenue, some cargo revenue, contract services, and other revenue. And that totals $6.7 billion. Then we have some operating expenditure like labour, fuel, maintenance. And we're going to colour all of those in blue because that's the colour for expenses. So below revenue and expenditure items, we have operating earnings of $941 million. Now I'm just going to ignore the bolded headings for the moment and just concentrate on the other amounts of money that we've got below the operating earnings. So we'll start off with depreciation and amortization. You can see that's minus number $716 million. So that is an expense. Just the same as the operating expenditure is listed as a negative amount, so is the depreciation. I'm going to go down all of the other items and identify whether they are income or expenses, depending on whether they are a positive or a negative number in the 2024 accounts. We've got some revenue there of share of earnings from associates, some significant items, nothing there, but in 2023 that was a negative number, so I've highlighted that blue for expenses, and our tax is an expense as well. If we take our revenue less our expenses, we get our net profit. So green minus blue is yellow, and because it's yellow, net profit belongs to the shareholders. Now we go to the statement of financial position, which is the balance sheet. we can identify the assets, which are in orange, and they total $8.5 billion. And then we've got all of the liabilities. They're in red, and they total $6.5 billion, which leaves us our net assets of $2 billion. As a reminder, orange minus red is yellow, so our assets minus our liabilities is net assets. Net assets are yellow. Again, assets minus liabilities is owner's equity. Owner's equity is yellow, which totals $2 billion, which equals our net assets of $2 billion. So we've broken the statement of financial position down into 3 separate areas. It makes it much easier for us to identify the assets which we own and the liabilities that we owe and the amount of money that we owe to the shareholders. Another account that you'll get in your financial statements are the statement of cash flows, and this itemizes all the cash that's come in and out of our bank account over the year. It's divided into 3 separate areas. The first area is operating activities, and this effectively gives us all of the cash that's come in and out from our revenue and our expenses. The second item is investing activities, and this is the summary of all the cash that's come in to our bank account and gone out of our bank account from our fixed assets. And the final one is financing activities. So this is all the money that's come into our bank account from, for example, bank loans or from our shareholders. And also money that's gone out of our bank account to our shareholders and to our other liabilities. So we've used Chromaccounting to analyze our financial statements. I hope you found that easy. I'll see you next time. Bye.